Boom shakalaka turner.
Well, hello. Welcome back to the Salt Shaker FGC podcast, and I've got my good friend here, Herb, aka CVRSELORD. What's up, man?
Hey guys, how's it going? Good to be here.
Yeah, good, man. Good. Give us a brief rundown about yourself, man. You know, all that jazz.
Most people would know me as Herb, but for those who don't, I'm CVRSELORD. An idiot that loves to play fighting games. Mainstay games that I usually play, Mortal Kombat and Tekken. And overall, it's just good to be here, man. Thanks for having me on.
No, of course. But why are you calling yourself an idiot, bro?
Oh, I've got this moniker that I've been going by for quite a bit now, and that's the greatest idiot of all time. If you think about it, no one wants to be the greatest idiot of all time, so that's just easy.
Well, that's definitely one to remember. So, where does the name come from, CVRSELORD?
The name CVRSELORD actually comes from a producer from, I think he's from New York or Canada, one of the two places. But he used to go as, I think it was Hexlord the Curse God. And I heard one of his beats one time, and I was just like, fuck, how do you even come up with a name like this as a producer of trap music? I don't know, so I took part of his name, really. I just swapped the, instead of, I wanted to call myself Curse God at first, but that's a bit trying too much. So I took the Lord part and made it CVRSELORD. My friend Halen actually has a good affinity for randomly naming things. And I kind of took a piece of what he taught me playing games all these times, just coming up with random names. I mean, you remember back, I think it was Rambats, I think 2 years ago. I used to go as Random Name Lord.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of a spin on that, really, the whole CVRSELORD name. But now I stopped trying to be a random name generator. Just let it flow. Well, CVRSELORD was a weird process, man. It was a weird process.
Yeah.
I come up with the name, but
long
story short, cool name.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the longest time, I always knew you was Herb before your proper name, but that was only because you'd always change it. Like almost every tournament, you'd go under a different name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Richard would have been pissed off about that at some point. Having to come to a Rambats and just like, what's your name this time? Who did you go as this time? Because I made that a thing for a few weeks, like just going to a Rambats and signing up as a different name every time.
Yeah.
And I mean, shit, that must have got annoying at some point, but...
Well, you would let down the hopes of people because, you know, someone might think, oh, this is a new player, and then they see you turn up and they're like, oh, it's just Herb.
Just Herb. Hopefully by then they kind of caught on to the gimmick.
Mm. So where does the name Lord Nanu Nanu come from? Because you've been using that a bit in your Twitter feed.
Oh, well, I'm not too sure if you recognize it from the picture, but that's the Archvile from Doom. I think we were playing, me and a group of mates were playing quite a bit of Path of Exile at the time. We were just trying to come up with some sort of weird name. We're in the chat talking about cults and stuff, and they were just throwing it out there. It's like, what would you name your cult, G? Just out of the blue. I was like, fucking, why not Lord Nanu Nanu or something? It was really funny when it happened. Is all I can say. It's like, it was a really, really funny moment. Like, I'm sure I woke up Adam or Julian just with the amount of laughter that was coming out of the room.
Yeah. So
basically, yeah, Lord Nanu Nanu is just a fake cult based on the Archvile from Doom.
Are there any followers of this so-called cult?
We keep our followers list. You keep that private.
Okay. No, all right, man. So the last few events you went to, You went to Southern Cross Up 2019, and then before that it was Crush Counter?
Yes.
Yeah, Crush Counter and Christchurch. And that was the cool one, because you actually, were you shy of top 8, or did you just make top 8? I forgot which one.
If I remember, I just made top 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in order to have made that, I had to eliminate a friend who I live with, who also attended the tournament.
Oh, you had to take out
was like-
Milky.
No, I had to take out Cup T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to take him out. No, it was just really crazy because I've often had this mentality that I really downplay my skill, like to a T. I really downplayed my skill, and it was just like making it that far was one thing, but having to take on my friend and fight for that spot, top 8, which to this day is probably the only top 8 I've ever made at a major.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that you were feeling yourself, like in the sense that you were really letting yourself kind of, like as you said, you downplayed your skill, and I think a lot of us were quite taken by that you were actually in that bracket. You were almost in that bracket.
Yeah, it was just, man, it was something. It was something, all right. All I can say is that my secret was getting absolutely trashed. If not trashed, then at least having a few drinks before playing.
Can you go over your feelings as to, like, because shy of top 8, you probably would have felt a bit of how are you feeling at that stage?
How was I feeling at that stage? Yeah, so just the overwhelming first time emotions, but once they were cut off, it was just like a kid take a deep breath. You kind of played. You've played well. You earned your place. It was a tough battle, being sent to the losers like pretty early, and then making it out into top 8.
Yeah,
it's just a different feeling, to be honest.
That was the first major that you actually attended, the Christchurch event. Sorry, the Wellington event, Crush Counter.
No, I did attend the year before that one.
Oh, you did? Okay. But it was during this time period that Butterjaw was really trying to make a statement that he was the Mortal Kombat king. And there was a little small rebellion of players like yourself that were really trying to not dethrone him, but just to kind of challenge his rule.
Yeah, it did feel like that leading up to Crush Counter. It's kind of like, look, I have a chance. Just try and get to him, play against him, and then beat him if you're lucky. And by lucky, I mean if you stop doing raw nomad dashes on block.
Yeah.
Just like playing the greatest idiot of all time, as opposed to you could be like real decent if you did this, but no, you keep doing raw nomad dash on block. Not to mention they're holding block for like 3 seconds, and then I decide to do a raw nomad dash. Yeah, no, not the one.
Because you love playing Cabal. Why is Cabal so appealing as a character?
It's really strange territory, really, because I've never played Cabal in any Mortal Kombat, and one of the reasons I actually picked them up was because of my older brother. I knew my older brother. He played Cabal in MK9, and also in the earlier titles he played Cabal as well. I thought, why not? Let's just be different for once and try a character that you wouldn't really play. And that's pretty much how I picked up Cabal, because before that, I was playing Noob Saibot, trying to get good with him at least.
Yeah.
And it was it was getting to a point where I was like, I don't know, the variation that I use has one weakness, and that's like, you don't really need to stand block most things, because you only have like two good lows to mix it up with.
Yeah.
I think. Noob Sideward's got a back three that leads into a hook slam and a slide if you use that variation.
Is there a lot of Cabal players in our region?
Well, I know that I'm not the first. I swapped into Cabal, but I think the first people to do it with Cabal is you remember Milk?
Yeah.
Yeah, Milk played Cabal after he had some hard time with Kung Lao. But he ended up picking up Cabal. I think Reef plays Cabal.
Oh yes, of course, Reef. Yep.
Reef plays Cabal. He plays the other variation with the Nomad dash cancels. Which, by the way, is pretty sick if you can pull it off like the same way that he does it. It's like really insane. He just like stops his Nomad dash shy of being in front of you and then waits to push a button and then he gets a grab, pretty much. It's crazy.
And so right now, for MK11, we can easily say that FGC Boy is on top. There was quite a bit of stigma with him showing up to this event because he's not the type to show up to events. And the first one that he did, he really cleaned house,
Yeah. I heard the stories about the dude, man. FGC man, not FGC boy.
Yeah. And he's a bit like Jack as well. Like he's quite a solid dude. You know what I mean? Like you can't physically push the guy. He will walk over you.
You wouldn't think that he was a kid not so long ago.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't think he was a kid not so long ago, but then you find out and you're like, bro, you're lying about your age, man.
Did you get to like catch up or did you get to meet up or socialize with him at Southern Cross Up?
Not at all, eh? Not at all. Like, I knew he was coming. I heard the stories about him. I think he used to play Jackson MK9. That's what I heard. He was like really good. Went over to Oz, and yeah, like that was it. That was pretty much it. Like those were the stories. He was like a top player of Mortal Kombat from before. He just came back and like fucking wrecked shop. He wrecked shop at Nets.
Yeah.
Which is mean.
Well, what was your run like at Southern Cross Up? Who knocked you into losers and who eliminated you?
Ah, shit. I forgot who knocked me into losers, but man. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Oh, Miles. That match was pretty cool. That was a dope match. Like I had fun with it, but in the end, it's like my old bane doing Nomad Dash on block and just do it. Fuck, man, it was a hilarious match. But Miles, the guile player from Street Fighter, he was playing Mortal Kombat, and yeah, he was basically the guy I lost to get knocked out of that event.
Who did he use?
He was playing Baraka.
Oh, Baraka, okay. Well, actually, it's fair to mention that Butterjaw kind of betrayed his main because he dropped Kodal and picked up Baraka because, well, at that time I heard that Baraka was a bit overpowered.
Yeah. Although, don't get me wrong, man. I respect Butterjaw's skill with Baraka and how it got him far. But to see him come back to Kotal Khan, it's kind of like, yeah, the old Danny's back.
Yeah, well, yeah, he did it at Sub-Zero Scuffle against Reef, wasn't it? And he was mucking around with Joker.
Yeah, I know he's got a Joker as well. I've had the misfortune of having to play that Joker one day. Fuck, man. But yeah, I know that Butterjaw was using Kotal Khan, and when I saw that on the stream, I was just like, fuck. The Danny I remember has come back, eh? Come back to fucking tear up shop.
To assert his dominance, yeah.
To assert his dominance, yeah.
There was another player at Southern Cross Up who kind of caught my eye, not for the playing, but the streamer Wolf. Did you ever run into him?
Yeah, I ran into him at Nets. Actually, I think I did commentary with him.
Yeah, he surprised me because like he did a few commentaries for a few games, but you know, because he's a streamer, I would have thought he was more used to his own company, you know, that kind of being very private and secluded, but he was socializing pretty well with everyone.
No, well, Mark's a good dude. He's a really good dude. Had the chance to do commentary with him, and then just later shoot shits and gigs.
Yeah, no,
he's a good dude.
Yeah, definitely. Who because he kind of plays Mortal Kombat. I wouldn't even say regularly or casually, but it's just more of a, he's a fan of the game and he just kind of dabbles into it, I suppose, every now and then.
I saw him, if I'm mistaken, I saw him playing Mortal Kombat and Tekken at Nats.
Yeah.
I forgot who uses who does he use in Tekken?
Oh, it was Law. Yeah.
Oh, he plays Law?
Yeah, I had to eliminate him.
Oh, damn.
Nah, once again, like you know, I thought he was a good guy, but it's his first national event, and I'm just thinking, yeah, man, this is how it's got to go.
Just punishment.
But no, he was really good, very outspoken, and yeah, he's quite the entertainer. On stream, he was really good.
Mark's a good dude. I don't watch his streams enough. That's another thing as well. Like, I follow all these NZ streamers, and like, I barely go on Twitch to watch shit.
Do you? I mean, you barely. I mean, you used to stream a little bit, but like, is there anything that's stopping you? Is there something that you wish, like, could you stream?
Yeah, I could, but it'll be chaotic as fuck. Is all I can say. Because I did a few streams here and there, and I just had the boys from the chat jump in, and then we just do our fucking usual routine, as we are. Sometimes it'll be a game of Apex, sometimes we'd be talking about, like, incel jokes. Making up jokes about incels.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, because, you know, you would seem pretty capable of being a streamer, because, you know, you're a bit, you're a bit loud and larger than life. You know, I wouldn't think it would be hard for someone like you to try streaming.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything that I would like to stream to try and get there, or, like, you know, just for practice, it'll be Souls-like games.
Oh, Dark Souls.
Dark Souls, yeah, because it's just, at times it can be really unforgiving and can frustrate you. It can frustrate you a lot. And when that happens, man, that's when you'll get the full animated effect out of me, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah. I mentioned it in an Unearth's episode, but, like, you're right, there's something really pleasurable in seeing someone struggle through a game like that. And even after hours and hours of time you put in, you still question yourself, like, was it really worth going through all that?
And then you end up doing it again.
You buy the sequel. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, let's keep doing this. Let's get a hemorrhage. Let's get it now. Like, man, Bloodborne was probably the most frustrating game for me in that series.
Is it on the same level as Dark Souls? I've heard people say it's a bit more forgiving.
Whoever told you that it's a bit more forgiving is obviously lying. No such thing as forgiving until you make it to, like, new game, I think. Make it to New Game Plus, and then it's forgiving. But I mean, the journey to get to the end of the game itself is just, oh my god. The amount of brain cells I lost purely out of yelling about that game. Crazy. Well, crazy.
I'm gonna mention now, you're a part of the mid pack, so that's another group within our FGC. So that includes yourself, and who are the other people in this mid pack?
Well, if I go by the Discord server, which is pretty official, if you ask me, there's quite a bit of people in mid pack. But I was kind of like the late bastard child that came in, because everybody else has been playing as mid pack since Street Fighter 5.
Bro,
I'm
you
guessing.
not only underplay your skill in MK, but you like running yourself down. You're calling yourself like, oh, I'm the famous idiot, and I'm the long lost bastard. It's like, can you not just be a simple late entry? Like, you don't have to run yourself through the mud, man.
No, man, I purely do that as a joke, really.
Oh, it just feels.
I'm not being serious, but
yeah, I know. It just feels like, Herb, you don't need to say that. You don't need to say that, man. You're all good,
crazy.
man. So what you've got, Reno, you've got Butterjaw, Shamir.
You might need to hold up on that Reno part. Apparently, if you say he's a part of mid-pack, you get a hiding from Liz.
Ooh, okay.
Liz will give us a hiding for saying that.
I was just about to say Shamir next. Okay, well then I'll say Butterjaw, Shamir, and Lewis. I don't know who else is in that group.
Yeah, there's also Oxbro, Dio, Jambo, according to the... Oh, no, wait. Has it changed? Yeah,
wait, is Jambo really... Wait, is he really a part of them?
Yeah, I would call him honorary mid-pack or something to the lights. I don't know. I thought he was with like another group as well.
Yeah, I thought he was a Salt Factory.
Nah, he's mid-pack now.
They claimed him now, eh?
We claim Jambo. He's mid-pack. But yeah, there's just like a handful of people in mid-pack. I got bought in like last year. Jumped into the gang. Chair the cuzzies because it's a young bark dog.
A young bark dog. No, I just mention it because not only is that a good group of people who play various titles, but that's a group I could actually see myself having dinner with. That's quite a social group.
Yeah. Oh, all I can say is like the times I've been invited out to go and drink with them, like last year, every time was good. I try to play like Oxbro at Street Fighter 4 and he just fucking cleans up, man. It's like, man, why didn't I keep playing this game when it was around?
So now we'll go into the Mortal Kombat history, which I know that's something you're very passionate about. From what I understand, the series, it was obviously MK9 that reset the timeline and, had a few redemption factors for certain characters and for certain storylines. Can you go over the MK history through your experience and what it was like from when you first played Mortal Kombat, to now with MK11?
Well, in regards to the story of Mortal Kombat, I'll be very honest, like, I never really followed it as much until probably MK9 onwards. That's where the story got a bit interesting with the whole reset. All I know is that between Mortal Kombat 1 and that shit show of a PS2 game, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, all I can say is that the timelines got really messed up. So, in saying that, there was I don't know if you remember Zombie Liu Kang.
Yeah, the undead Liu Kang. Yeah.
Yeah, got his neck broke by Shang Tsung. And yeah, that's just... I think that, Mortal Kombat Armageddon is where it became a mess in the story. So MK9 was kind of like a needed thing, so to speak.
Yeah.
A needed thing to kind of reset the playing field and maybe have a chance to introduce something new, which is where MKX comes in. Because they introduced like the Cassie Cage and Jackie.
Yeah, the future of the universe, yeah.
And the whole universe got tilted upside down, but it was still a cool game, MKX. I enjoyed the time that it was out. I tried to play Reptile in that game, and then he became trash, so I ended up picking Kenshi instead. So yeah, the story kind of got messed up at Armageddon. MK9 was a really good thing for the franchise to kind of reset its values, be able to build on it, make something new of it. And then MK11 has, to me, I didn't really care about the story of MK11, but the whole look and feel of the game is it's a step up from MKX, I'll be honest. It feels really good to play MK11.
Character-wise, going from MKX to MK11, are there certain characters that you wish had made the transition, had made the cut?
Yeah, I actually remember an ending from MKX. I'm not too sure whose ending, but it did mention of a Chaos Realmer. Like if you played the whole Mortal Kombat Deception on PS2 with the Conquest mode on it, you would know that there's like multiple realms you can free roam around and shit.
Yeah.
And there's like a character from the Chaos realm named Havoc. On that game, he was pretty funny on Mortal Kombat Deception, because he could like snap his neck to regain health, and just because of that finishing movie in MKX, like because of that, I kind of thought that Havoc would make MK11. I'm hoping that the guys at NetherRealm decide to bring out another combat pack or something, or another list of characters.
Yeah, I think
And
I think they most likely will. I think the guest characters have been fairly good. I mean, what have you thought about Terminator and Joker?
Terminator and Joker, all I have to say is Terminator. What the hell? They actually made him a cool character in MK11. Especially from like what I've seen. I have some mates that play Terminator, and from what they did when I played with them, it's just like crazy. It's got this weird looking kick that's an anti-air. It's like a ducking light kick or something. It's down 3. It just like looks really weird, but it's a good tool. And yeah, Terminator seems like he's a really cool character on on MK11. The Joker. I had an opportunity to play up against Butterjaw's Joker, just to kind of get me feeling the game again.
Yeah.
And it was like really good, even though he fucking mocked me up with some of the Joker setups that you can do with his box, his exploding toy box. But yeah, no, that was just really crazy having to come back to the game after some time and just get thrown into the deep with Butterjaw's Joker.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was just it was crazy. They were good games.
Mm-hmm. And how do you?
I might have got them like once or twice.
Oh yeah. So what do you? So now, what do you think about there being 3 variations of 3 tournament variations for characters? Do you feel that kind of makes the dynamic more interesting, or do they need to add a bit more, do you think?
I think a 4th variation would be nice. I want to see what the developers come up with. See what they think is good. Make a 4th variation. 3 variations at the moment is really good. Because, once again, I had an opportunity to play the spins with Cabal and realized that there's quite a bit of damage potential in that.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like the same variation that I play, with a couple of changes to moves. I mean, fundamentally, he's still got the restand with his gas blast as opposed to the hooks, which is, I think, +5. EX is +5 on block. So you know that move is really good.
Yeah. Who is there a character that has a really good 3rd variation?
From what I've seen, all I can say is that maybe Noob's 3rd variation. I think Noob Cybot's got a 3rd variation. I'm thinking maybe that's good. That's good enough to be like seen at top level.
Yeah.
Not too sure about it. Haven't done much reading up on it, is all I can say. But we're just waiting for those notes to come out.
So have you been taking a break from MK, or have you just been busy with work and other things?
No, I'll be honest. I took a break from Mortal Kombat and fighting games in general because Borderlands 3 was coming out at the time.
Yeah.
And then that game came out and we were like, yeah, we've been waiting like a whole bunch of years for this game to come out, and it's just like really lackluster. So then I end up playing that for a bit, get to where I need to be, and then played a whole bunch of Apex after that.
Hmm.
That's another game that I've wasted a lot of time on, playing Apex Legends.
Do you play with anyone from the scene?
Not with the scene, no.
Okay.
Just usually a close group of mates of mine.
Mm-hmm.
They're the guys that like actually taught me how to get better at that game. Because we pretty much all started at the same time when Apex dropped, like this time last year, and we played it for ages, like for quite a while. Like we still play it every now and then. But like it got to a point where I was like, sweet, I'm good at this game. Well, decent at least. What's another game that I can play? Wasted more time on Path of Exiles recently.
Oh, Path of Exile. All right.
Path of Exile, yeah, played that. I've got the console version. I could get the PC version, but it's just like, nah, then I'll have to do twice as much work. That game can be a bit of work sometimes.
Are there any games that you're looking forward to this year?
Yeah, Doom Eternal is just released.
Yeah, that looks sick, man.
And that's a game that I will eventually get my hands on that game because I'm a huge Doom fan. Huge Doom fan. Loved every bit of it. And yeah, that's actually a game that I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. Neo 2 has just come out as well. And from what I've seen on YouTube with builds and whatnot, it's just like, okay, this game is probably something that I'll get first. So if I had to choose between Neo 2 or Doom Eternal, I'm definitely choosing Neo 2 first.
Neo 2. Yeah, I'll do the same. I'm not really a fan of that kind of like Doom isn't really a game that I would play, but just like the battle mechanic, like the shooting mechanics and the intensity, like even when it reflects in the music, it's so good. It's really heart pounding.
They really knew how to put it together at id Software.
Mm.
They really knew how to put it together. They got Mick Gordon back in, and he kind of did better this time round. It's like Doom 2016 soundtrack was really, really good. It was really intense. But with Doom Eternal, he kind of took a step forward, a big step forward. And it just adds to even more intensity in Doom Eternal.
Mm.
So from what I've seen, that game is just like it's just crazy. You try sticking yourself in a room for like a whole month on end, just playing that game.
Yeah.
Playing through that game, oh man, it's bound to drive you crazy.
When you play games, do you prefer to listen to, like if it's a fighting game, do you prefer to listen to the stage soundtrack or do you play your own music?
Yeah, I would rather play my own music. That's if I'm playing so if I'm playing Tekken 7, I'll just play my own music.
Yeah.
If I'm playing something like Bloodborne or Dark Souls, I'm not playing any music. I want to hear that boss theme.
So when you say play your music, do you mean like proper music or do you mean your own music? Because you actually make beats yourself.
Yes, I actually mean proper music, man.
Yeah, like in CEA, he's a bit, he's a bit of a DJ, I suppose, rap artist, and you are too, from what I was told.
Connor and I are beat makers, producers. In other words, like let's just put that as the short term. Like beat makers, producers. I've had the chance to listen to Connor's music that he's made more times than once, and he's fuck. All I have to say is that his music's like really underrated.
And how would you describe your music? Like, what would make your what's your style? Are you mainly rap or do you do trap music or how would you describe it?
Yeah, that's actually how I started with making beats. No, sorry, I made electronic music at first. Like this was close to 12, 13 years ago. I started with making electronic music, and then like 2010 onwards was kind of like messing with trap music. So I was messing with like trap music for a long time, and I kind of follow the blueprint that some of these trap beat producers make, but I try to kind of also add my own flair to it.
Yeah.
Like there'd be some weird samples that I throw in there from time to time, like samples that I have used that are from like old songs from maybe the 70s. Is that more by I forgot Andrea True Connections? Yeah, I used that in one beat. It's just like, when is anyone ever gonna make a trap beat with this kind of music?
Yeah.
And then it turns out like everybody does that anyway.
So what's
Even do it with like some anime samples as well. You'll hear that.
Yeah.
In quite a few trap beats.
So what's your process for making a beat? Do you have certain sounds that you want to use, or do you just kind of throw yourself into it and just start creating?
There's multiple approaches that I use when it comes to making a beat. But if I were to make something from scratch, like with a keyboard melody and a bass tune and whatnot, that's like really... That's a really long process, is all I can say. Like I was making something from scratch. I find sample-made beats are easier because all you really have to do is just tune the sample to give direction and then just make drums on top of it. But with making something from scratch, it's kind of like you have to come up with a melody. You come up with a 4-bar melody or something like that, and then you decide when and where to add extensions to it. And like that takes a lot of time. Well, with me anyway, it takes a lot of time. I'll more than likely listen to a random jazz album for 40 minutes. And that's before I even get to making the beat itself. And once the beat is made, you kind of got that general feel. Takes a lot of time, is all I can say.
I know that Connor NCA's collabed with a few people to make beats and stuff. Are you the same, or do you prefer to discover your own rhythm via your own methods?
Connor has a friend on SoundCloud, and King Sarah. He's also got a Discord server. He's made a couple of YouTube videos here and there. And like, I've heard his beats, and I've said to myself, like, dude, imagine what a beat would sound like if you both did that. So, NCEA's plug, so to speak, was a dude named King Sar, and I remember hitting him up some time ago to do work, which is still pretty much ongoing, hasn't even taken off yet, really. But like, yeah, that's probably the only person that I know outside of Connor, and maybe as anything, the Tekken player, he also makes beats.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that dude at Nats, by the way, man, what a fucking hero. That dude at Nats. So him and Arashi stayed at our place at Nats.
Yeah.
I came back home one time and AJ, or as anything, he was talking about how he makes beats as well. I was just like, I was actually vibing with the dude that night, man. It was cool.
That's good, man.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so he ended up helping me out by sending me some like drum packs that he uses. And it's just like, fuck, dude, what a hero. That dude's fucking hero, man.
That's good.
So, like every time he makes a beat, I'm just like, fuck yeah, man. The vibe.
Oh, that's good, man. That's really good. It's good to kind of share stuff with the FGC people. Out, it's just good to share something in common outside the game,
Yeah, something that I didn't know is that there's like a few beat makers, I think.
There's actually quite a few. I'm even sure like Reefs or it's one of the Marvel players. I know that they make beats as well. I just can't remember who right now.
It's like I know that I remember Simp as well. Simp wanted to get into making beats. He was like, yeah, you got Fruity Loops and whatnot. Be hard case to see what he comes up with. I reckon he could come up with something mean.
Yeah. I don't know about his rap style, but I think he could come up with a solid beat.
Next best thing to come out of Avondale.
Yeah. I'm just going to bring it back to MK11, and this is something I know you definitely want to talk about. It's been the long-awaited arrival of Spawn Now, this is a character that I know a lot of Mortal Kombat players have wanted. We saw him in Soul Calibur 2, and then, nothing until it's like now, MK11, he's finally here. What's the general thoughts and feedback on this character?
The general thoughts about the character is that, one, they're glad that they got Keith David. Keith David to voice Spawn. Man, it's probably like one of the coolest things. Like there's a little interaction that him and Cabal go through, and just like hearing him tell Cabal to shut the fuck up. Oh, dude. Pardon my French, but dude, that sounded so cool. From what I've seen, and this is coming from the Day One Spawn lobby that happened on I think Buttersjaw was streaming it too. This might have happened a week or so ago. That was pretty cool to see like the number of Spawn players there, and I didn't buy Spawn, so I felt like I was disrespecting them a little. I was the only one that went in with a Cabal. They're just like, oh, come on, man. It's supposed to be a Spawn only lobby. But I don't have him. But from what I've seen everybody play with, dude, he's pretty cool. I'm not too sure where to judge him in terms of a tier list, but I don't think he's low tier, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, he might be around the same tier as Cabal. Let's use that as an example. He might be the same tier list, or even better, from what I've seen. But Spawn, at the moment, he's a pretty sick character to watch.
Yeah, decent fireball. I think he's got good damage. And also something they've introduced with him, which isn't... he's got his Hell Club, which I think in a combo, it stops the opponent. Like, it's a breakaway... It stops breakaway if you use the Hell Club in a combo.
Damn.
Or something like that, yeah.
I never really quite saw that being used. But...
Oh, I was watching a bit of the combat cast, but I think if they try to break away, if you use the Hell Club, they can't actually break away. I hope I'm right. I don't want to be wrong. Yeah, but no, he's really sick, man. He's like, I remember the old movie of Spawn with Michael. Oh god, is this Michael J. White or something? I haven't thought of Spawn since that movie, and I look at this character and I'm thinking, damn, he looks sick.
Yeah, he really does look sick. But I like his I like what he brings in birth variations, because I think I saw that being played during that Day One Spawn lobby. But all I know is that Spawn does have really good damage. Especially if you somehow can connect all his crushing blows.
Mm.
I've seen people do that in like one combo, and it's just, is that even realistic? I want to know how realistic that combo is, because that seems pretty crazy.
Mm.
Just triggering off, crushing blow after crushing blow in a combo. I haven't seen that much damage being done since the Geras time stop combo. Really?
Mm.
And I think it's pretty crazy.
And how is Geras faring in this recent patch?
Apparently he got a bit nerfed, didn't he? Geras must have got a bit nerfed, because I can't say for sure, because this is, like, I'm just coming back into the game. But from what I remember, or from what I've heard, I think Geras did get nerfed a little. Still might be a really good character, but he got nerfed.
Mm.
I mean, those Day One combos that I saw of Geras doing like 600 damage from his time stop. It's like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, normal characters can't even get half of that.
Yeah, like I can't get anything over like 280 with Cabal at any given time. So it's just like, to see that in a combo.
Well,
without like using crushing blow either, I think.
Yeah, without crushing blow. Yeah.
It's just like, thanks for giving him that.
So that feature I mentioned about the Hell Club, about how it can stop breakaway. I think like someone pointed out, and it's a good point because it's like breakaway. If you've got bar, you can escape the combo. Do you feel like there should be a mechanism like the Hell Club for Spawn that it should stop players from breaking away, like successfully? Because it's almost guaranteed. You know, obviously if you get bar, breakaway is guaranteed, but there should be a mechanism where you've got to be careful because your breakaway could get cancelled.
Yeah, I think they should just give Katana that tool back that she used to have. She was like one character where you could just do a full combo, and then if they did a breakaway mid combo, you just like hit your freaking fatal blow, and it hits them on the way down. I think they took that away from her. They could just like give that back. That'd be one way to one way to curb breakaways. But as for a mechanic that's like that, I'm not too sure about that. I don't think they'll ever implement something like that. If they did, I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be angry about it. It means there's something else I have to learn, or there's something else everyone else has to learn.
Okay. So you may not have touched Spawn a lot, and that's all good. But have you touched? And this is fairly recent. It's Fahkumram. Fahkumram for Tekken 7. Have you touched him at all?
Yeah, I did day one training mode.
Yeah.
When he came out.
Now, I hope you went in with an open mind thinking, oh, this isn't going to be a Bruce situation. He plays very differently, and I quite like what the developers have done. Like, someone said simple but underwhelming, but that's a good thing. It's not another Leroy situation.
Yeah, so from what I saw when I messed around with his moves list, is that he's got strings that can be used to cancel into certain moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's obviously got that knee that he does. That's like a guard break. That's pretty crazy. And then he's got that turning kick as well. That's a guard break. And they come from like a couple of strings that I thought that was pretty neat. All in all, I kind of feel like Fahkumram is Steve, but easy to play. He's kickboxer Steve, but easy to play. Is all I have to say.
Yeah, I think my fear is that he and Josie, because Josie feels a bit like Bruce, just a few changes. I felt like Fahkumram could be the same, and I'm glad I was wrong. And as I said, I'm glad he's underwhelming, because at least this way, people get a rough idea of him, and then they can build, people can get used to him, and then the developers can build upon him and make him stronger, and people will stay with him, rather than having, another Leroy situation where he's too overpowered, and people are going to use him, the less he gets, the more times he gets nerfed. It's not interesting.
Now, all I can say is that Fahkumram is pretty neat, and he's not too broken. So he's not like day one Leroy types broken, and like I feel that he is a bit strong, but I mean,
if
you think about it in the most shallow way, bro, it's because he's big.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've never been a fan of the big hulking type. He's got the damage and he's got the punishment, but I mean, I don't visually. Obviously, it's Muay, so like the visual look, it can't be, it's not going to look, it's going to look like as we expected. It doesn't. I don't get any surprises from him. He doesn't seem interesting, but just as a character addition, I think he's great. I think it works.
Yeah, it's pretty. He's a fucking neat character, man. That's all I gotta say. He's a really neat character.
Yeah, I still miss Bruce though.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that counter hit back too.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's kind of cool that they made it his unblockable though. That's okay. I can accept that.
Yeah, Fahkumram, all I can say is really, he's not too broken of a character, but he's good.
Yeah.
And everybody else, apparently the Mishima's got like a massive buff.
Yep, they sure did.
Yeah, so now like that's when they do an electric and it whiffs, right? It's got more whiff recovery.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's two things. So just to summarize it, so the electric's on whiff, they're quicker to recover, 3 frames I think, and the hell sweep, it it has better tracking now, so it's a lot harder to sidewalk it. You could sidewalk it, but now you can't even sidewalk. But now you can't sidewalk it. So you got to be careful of Mishima players that are really good at conditioning and being aggressive, because it's just but I mean it's a good change.
I mean,
No, it's not. It's not a good change.
Did all the Mishimas get it though?
No, it was just Devil-Jin and Kazuya.
Oh fuck! Would have been cool if Jin and Heihachi got it as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Heihachi got it. I mean, it was like, fuck. Now I might have to learn how to play
Heihachi.
Yeah.
But just with punishing that move now, it's going to be so much more riskier. And even if you go for a quite a good, like if you go for a heavy punish and it's blocked, then obviously you're going to get punished. So, I mean, Lee had the same thing with his back four. He got his reduced when it whiffs, so it does recover slightly quicker. But it had no tracking anyway, so it's it's not fast like an electric. So this be prepared for a lot of Mishimas spamming electrics in your face, and even when they whiff, you don't want to go in just yet.
So even when they whiff, it's still their turn. Still their turn, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that's cool though. Like, I wish that all 4 Mishimas got it. But if it's just Kazuya and Devil-Jin, then that's all good. I don't mind.
Yeah, well, because Jin's isn't really it's not the traditional Mishima hell sweep, and with Heihachi's, his one's slightly different because it's got the because you can do the multiple wave dash 4-4-4. Whether you want to do it 2 times or 3 times into the tsunami kick. So I guess that's the exclusion.
Yeah, that's right. Because Heihachi's hell sweep doesn't trip.
No, it does. I think it trip. Yeah, it doesn't trip on the. It trips on the second hit, I think. It should trip on the second hit, but even if you block it, it's -10. So there's only going to be a few players that can punish it better than a dick jab. Now,
so like either jab punish, or if you're a Mishima, 1-1-2.
Yeah.
1-1-2 universal punish.
Now, I guess it's fair to mention it now because, I mean, it's really affected the world. Obviously, this whole coronavirus situation, it's not only affected the FGC, not only affected our scene, but it's affected everywhere in general. People are worried whether they have jobs at the end of this pandemic. People are still trying to figure out how to survive during this lockdown period, which we ourselves are currently in at the moment. The world, it's weird. It's a weird situation. We were having a brief talk about it, bro. The world is on hold at the moment, but it's an ideal situation for gamers because we can sit home, play games, and some of us are actually getting paid for this period. But I mean, the ultimate question is, what's the greater risk and cost, not just to our lives, but to the scene as well? Because now we're facing a period where it could be the year of online games and online tournaments. What do you think of that?
Oh, it's online tournaments might be a direct substitute for going to offlines for the time being. Like, I don't know if you saw the number of cases reached past 200.
Over 200 now. Yeah. It's. I mean, it was well beyond a joke before we hit 100, but now this is real serious.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So let's say 4 weeks happens. It is happening. Sorry, but after 4 weeks, who's to say that the cases haven't already spiked past like 2,000 or 3,000?
I mean, there's a chance. You're right. There is a slight chance that it could. Our cases went from 5 to 66, or it went up to the mid-60s in a case of 1 week. So once we hit 100, if you do that same multiplication, you're looking like 1,100, 1,200. In another week. If obviously I'm just mentioning it because we're in a real troubled period. We're in a real tough period right now, not just for the scene, but just for all of us personally, financially. It's a weird situation to be in because now everything's just not available. Everything is unacceptable. And like the FGC can survive with online events, but as a community that has been birthed by hosting temples and hosting get-togethers, we're not hanging out with each other. Yes, we may be talking online, but we're not hanging out with each other physically. The scene isn't physically together. I would feel that throughout time we're going to find that the struggle, like that, it's more. It's going to stay with us for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, like what I was saying earlier, how this is pretty much the first time that we've had to deal with something like this on that scale, where we're all getting locked down in our houses for the time being. I mean, we did have a SARS epidemic in like 03.
Yeah. Yep.
And the bird flu thing that happened like a few years later. I mean, we have dealt with diseases before, but to this scale, this is the first time since it's happened. Since, I would say the Spanish flu. This is like the first time that a whole nation has come to a conclusion that, like, yeah, this is what needs to be done to prevent further deaths. Whereas those during the Spanish flu time, they would have had no such thing and would have had to pretty much, get murked. I reckon a lot of the population of New Zealand would have died in that time, but I guess we don't live in that age. We're like 100 years past that age, and now we have information and whatnot at our fingertips, pretty much there at our disposal. And to be able to do something about it to prevent deaths, I think that's probably the only good thing about staying home is that, the disease can't spread if it's being contained, or if people themselves who aren't sick are being contained in their own houses. If it's the way to go about preventing more deaths, then I say that's the way it's got to be. But I mean, it could have quite a consequence on people, some people anyway. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people already started losing their shit,
Yeah.
Just going crazy from like being indoors all day.
I mean, we
to us gamers, it's
like to us gamers, this is the ideal situation. But for other people, creative artists, for example, there are people that can survive making a living at home, doing work. But there are others that they need to be active. They are socialites, so they need to be out there doing things. So I guess what I'm saying is just, like for those who are watching, or for those who are aware of the, obviously for those in this situation, for those watching, just relax, stay calm, and just keep in touch with people. If you've got a friend that you message regularly, just message them and just be like, hey bro, you're all good, just checking in, because it's more so the people that work in essential businesses, healthcare, doctors, and it's those people that I worry about the most, because they still have to put their lives on the line during this period.
It's crazy. I mean, although it's an ideal situation for us gamers, I mean, you are right. There are people that actually need to stay indoors, prevent this disease from being spread either to you or to anyone else. And just take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
But you know what, man? Like, even though the shit is going down, like, if I was in lockdown with Cup Tea, Milky, Virtual Bacon, if he's caved in there as well, but I mean, I don't know. But that's a good place to be. Like, you've got some good people, man.
I mean, I can kind of empathize with some of the not so fortunate, that let's just say school was their only way of escaping what the fuck was happening at home. And now that they more than likely don't have a school to go back to because of the close down, they're kind of subjected to whatever they're going on at home. So I suppose that's where it gets a little dangerous.
Yeah.
This virus, like, sure, we're in a perfect situation. We've got our game consoles at our disposal and whatnot. We can talk to our friends over the web and whatnot. But there are some of those people that have to go home to abuse and mistreat, or like get mistreated, and that's pretty much going to be them for the next 4 weeks, if not longer. Apparently, it's supposed to get worse, but who am I to say that now? And one thing to do is speculate. But I mean, yeah, they have to go back home to all the abuse and whatnot, all that bullshit. And going to school was kind of like that escape. Or going to a friend's house would be that kind of escape. Now they can't. They don't have the option.
There's no way.
It's like,
There's no way.
listen, you don't do this, it's probably going to be like thousands of more confirmed cases and
Oh my.
maybe some deaths finally.
Yeah.
But apparently there's like a few recovered cases of coronavirus.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, there's a few recovered. And I think obviously, the bigger picture still needs to be, like we're still tending to the situation. I'll be honest, bro. The day before lockdown, I went out to go get McDonald's.
No way.
Just one last time, man.
Yeah, one last time before they all shut
Just
down.
just to get that, just to remember that little taste of the outside.
We are
A little taste of the outside, eh?
Well, what did you do? Because they they say not to go out unless you're getting essential items. But what were you stocking up on before lockdown, bro?
Why would you say
Well, one thing that I wanted to stock up on was flour. Because if you got flour and enough eggs, you can make noodles. And, yeah, I've just been doing that for the last 2 or 3 weeks, bro. I was learning how to make homemade noodles. So that's kind of what I tried to stock up on before I realized that there was no flour at the countdown. I tried to stock up on as much flour as I could so I could make some noodles. There's only like 2.5 big bags left.
You didn't stock up on any. You didn't stock up on any alcohol, man.
Nah, I didn't need
Oh
to
my
really stock up on that
goodness.
stuff. I mean, some others actually that I know have done that.
Holy.
My uncle and my cousins, they just recently got
No
back
one's gonna
from
call.
Gold Coast.
There's no way.
They're in a 14-day isolation right now.
What the?
But it's just really hard case because the my older cousin pretty much stocked up on some alcohol, showing pictures on Facebook, and I'm just like, yeah, this is gonna be the longest bender you've ever had.
People's reasoning was funny. It was like, oh, I'm at home for 4 weeks, so what am I supposed to do? So it's like, oh yeah, of course we need to get alcohol. What else are we gonna do? What else are we gonna do for 4 weeks? Drink our worries away.
Well, let's be honest. If you stocked up for 4 weeks, man, you're gonna run out in 2 days.
Yeah.
Stocked up for 4 weeks, you're gonna run out in like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I got enough alcohol to last me 4 weeks. 2 days later, drunk, still. There's no alcohol left.
Right. Well, I'll ask you a few more questions, bro. So, who would your next guest be for the MK11 roster?
Guest character? I think maybe Superman.
Oh,
Imagine Superman in Mortal Kombat. That'd be
Nah, I don't think it would. I don't know if it would work.
Nah,
Because you'd have to water down his attacks because he can't kill, he can't like heavily brutalize.
maybe Superman Prime. Or evil Superman. Who else can they add? Like, it'd be nice to see a guest character in MK11, but I'd like to see some returning characters. To be honest, like Havoc would be one. That would be sick. Kenshi or Ermac would be another good one, and maybe the robots. That'd be pretty cool to see the robots come back to MK11.
Oh, you mean like Triborg or the cyber? Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, they did have.
Triborg.
I mean, they had Cyrax's sector. Like you could verse them in the MK ladder, so MK Tower. So possibly they could be. Yeah,
that'd be sick.
Okay.
Like you get Triborg, but one of the 3 tournament variations are just friggin' what you call it? Just Sector Cyrax and smoke.
Yeah, just like they did in MKX. Yeah. Okay. So
Like if they decided to add all 4 robots in there, I'd think it'd be a stupid idea because there's already Frost.
yeah, true.
But like Triborg with smoke, Sector Cyrax, sick.
Okay.
That'd be sick.
So I know you love memes. You know, you had your one with the Stalin picture where where it says "you fucking what, mate," and you got your everyone loves your Phil Goff photo. You know, like not gonna vote G.
Not gonna vote G.
It's funny because we met around that time that photo was taken. I didn't even remember you.
Yeah, I think was that the same year that 4-Color Fight Club happened for the first time?
Maybe, because I mean, when I met you at Milky's house for the first time, and you were like, "Oh, we've met before," and I'm like, "Really?" I was like, I know I'm not good with names, but I recognize your face a little bit." Like, and then you told me, and I'm like, "Oh God, yeah, of course, yeah."
No, I'm sure I met you. You know, oh damn it. How do I say this? Must have been like 2017 or something like that.
Yeah,
This was
yeah.
just before I moved in with Milky.
Yeah. I think we kind of met we met very previously, but that was the time I met you formally. But yeah, I was just thought about it.
Yeah, no, it was definitely here at this place we met formally. But I mean, before that, it was like I wandered off to a 4-Color Fight Club that happened at Arkham City Comics in Royal Oak. Has he still got that place there?
Yeah, he's still there. Miguel's still working. Bloody Samoan, yeah.
Yeah, and he's hosted a whole bunch of 4-Color Fight Clubs afterwards, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, dude, he had to cancel the third one because of this coronavirus shit.
Damn.
Like, because we were going to host our cinema event, and then we decided that it probably wasn't the right time, and then, like, this was like 2 days after our event was supposed to be hosted. His one was 2 days before us, so I messaged him and I was trying to get a hold of him, like saying, "Hey, bro, have you thought about like canceling or postponing?" Just because obviously this coronavirus shit was ramping up. And yeah, it was like in the space of 3 days, it was like almost every fighting game event within a 2-month period all cancelled.
Yeah. It's insane just to see how many things got cancelled because of it. Like, fuck.
But yeah, just to go back, because the meme with Phil Goff and your Stalin picture or whatever, I was going to ask you what's your favorite meme that's out there?
Favorite meme that's out there at the moment has to be. Damn, that's a good question. Shit, what have I retweeted lately? What have I retweeted lately? That might be a meme. Oh, there's one about Italian mayors and regional presidents losing it. It's a video, and there's like translation at the bottom of the screen while they're losing it. And one guy's it's about the coronavirus, of course, and he's like, "So I heard you want to make graduation parties. Me and the police were gonna come over to your house with flamethrowers."
Jesus, no.
Like these Italian mayors and regional presidents losing it. I'm not too sure if what's being translated is valid, but the whole fact that they're like trying to enforce the law that they're supposed to like be at home. This is in Italy, by the way, where like I think the death toll there is like a few thousand now.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, and you just got these mayors on video just walking up to people in the public. Like there's a couple of people playing ping pong, and he's just like, No, go home and play some video games. Go home and play PlayStation." Just like trying to, and he's about to lose it. Like you can hear it in his voice. Like he's about to just say, "No, pack your shit up and go. Just get lost."
Okay. Here's another question. If you had to collab with someone to make a music beat about this pandemic period, who would it be and why?
Oh, somebody to collab with about a pandemic type beat would probably be. I wonder if what's his name? Something Wicked. Jason. If he's still making
something
beats.
wicked. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if that guy's still making beats. be pretty cool to like jump on a boom bap track, or try and make a boom bap track with the dude about the pandemic. That'd be pretty neat. Even Connor to an extent as well. NZ Mal, Taylor.
Oh, Mal, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Wait, does he make beats?
He's made some strange beats, man. Like from what I've heard on SoundCloud, he's made some strange beats. It's like almost one part rap beat, one part avant-garde noise. It's really neat. Like that's all I have to say is that it's really neat.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out, bro.
It is. I mean, there is one track where it's just noise. Well, it just sounds like noise, but that also counts as avant-garde, believe it or not. Anything that's a noise is avant-garde. But yeah, no, he's made a few beats that I've liked, and that style is pretty underrated. What he's using as well, or however the fuck he goes about making beats, dude. It's like a really underrated sound.
If you had to guess, how long do you think this pandemic period will last until we can start going to offlines again?
Should the numbers continue to spike as they have been, it's gonna be a while, I'd say, before we can go to any offlines.
I was thinking at least 6 months. It sounds extreme, but as you said, if the cases begin to climb, we're going to be like this for quite some time.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 months at least, but 6 months, just because the number of cases seem to spike in a short amount of time as well. It's like really insane to see that the cases have doubled within the first week of the emergency system being announced. Like it was really strange to go to work, and during the same day we get a call and whatnot from one of my workmates, and it's like, did you hear the news? And I was like, no, I'm still unaware of the news. Why? What happened? Yeah, apparently we went into level 3 that day, and then the next day at midnight it was going to be level 4. Like everybody's getting friggin' locked down. So within the span of a day, it goes from like you're all good to now you have to get the fuck inside and stay inside.
Yeah.
And then I heard some more news later on about it. It's kind of fucked up. Like there's a curfew that's been enforced. If there even is a curfew, I'm not too sure. But I know that we have to be inside for the next 4 fucking weeks. So like, yeah, I dropped off all my work stuff back to the yard, picked up my car, and just went home. And I've got a 4-week holiday that's luckily paid for.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because people are like, "Oh, I'm off work 4 weeks." You can't. Can you really say it's a holiday? Because it's like you're a prisoner in your own house.
Yeah, you're inside. There's nothing much to do. You can't go to public spaces. You can't hang out. You can't do anything. You have to like stay home and survive for the next 4 weeks. Which is like, once again, it's like really strange to be in this age and experience something that requires a whole nation to be in lockdown. It's like, I'd say it's crazy because like there's nothing so much military, like, everybody has to be forced inside because there's a coup d'etat going on at the fucking beehive. It's nothing like that.
No.
It's a disease. Like that alone is just like I still don't know how to picture it properly.
Yeah, I can't. Obviously, we all can't express what kind of weird situation this is. I mean, some of us are doing okay, but yet some of us are panicking. But I think the main goal is just to stay calm and stay home.
Stay calm, stay home. Don't be a dick. Don't go running out in public and coughing on the first person you see. Just to be a dick about it. Don't do what I was gonna do, and that was walk out with my gas mask and my cape to the local supermarket to assert dominance on the aisles and get my bag of flour.
You know, that mask, the Borderlands mask, that actually would suit during this time period, you know.
Yeah, so if anyone there has, pre-ordered Borderlands, now's the perfect time. That was the pre-order bonus. Borderlands 3 was just the whole mask.
Yeah, I just think it's fitting. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's it's the apocalypse. You might as well wear it.
Who is your waifu, Curse Lord?
Who was my waifu? Oh, this question was a tad bit too easy. Well, the answer is anyway, it's a tad bit too easy. Mai Shiranui in King of Fighters.
Oh, okay.
Mai Shiranui in King of Fighters.
Yeah.
But there's a
Okay.
reason behind that.
Yeah.
Because
Go
King
on.
of Fighters, I play Andy. I play Andy in King of Fighters, and Andy's the husband. He's like the... Oh, how do I put it? He's like the most virgin Fatal Fury character that's out there, eh? He's like the biggest virgin character on their game. I just so happen to play him because he's got cool cancels. But yeah, that's definitely my video game waifu, Mai Shiranui. That's too easy.
Thank you.
Has there been anyone else who's picked that?
No one's. I don't think anyone. No. I think someone's picked a KOF fighter, but no one's picked Mai. So yeah.
Sure. First.
I want to thank you again, Curse Lord Herb, Lord Nanu
No
Nanu,
worries, man.
for the time.
Thanks for having me on.
No, it's been a pleasure. Especially during this period, just want to put something out there light. Do you have any last words or shout-outs you'd like to make?
Stay indoors. Wash your hands. Don't be a dick. Stay indoors.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, very good message, and one to definitely follow at this time. Cool.
Sweet as, man.
Hey, thanks again, man.
Right, thanks for having me on, dude.
Hey, and thank you guys. Stay safe.